I wrote a special writing. I'm going to ask Eric to bring it up. There it is. It's called Balance. The young should be teaching the old that the heart never stops dancing, as the old should be teaching the young there's nothing to fear about death. God, what a world we live in. Sorry for whining. Can at least you feel the truth of that? Your everything about your life is an instruction to every person who's in your orbit. What if instead of being miserable and complaining and hating and worrying about one's life that one was going to leave, what if there was nobility in it? What if one understood that this whole idea of death exists because of the fear of the discontinuation of a self that never had any right to have your life in the first place? Then as a children dance and they have joy because they're not burdened by all of the attachments and the dependency that we have, the father of the fear that draws these things and makes us think ourselves, that's who we are. So that we get to the end of our life and we think that that's who we are and it's going away. And now I have to be afraid for the rest of my meager, miserable existence because now I don't know who I am and what's going to happen to me. I'm out of here. And I'm filled with regret. What if a man or a woman actually understood that at that same moment, it was possible to be the instrument of a nobility, of a kindness, of something that by its very action, by its very presence, is explaining to the children, to the world around them, there's nothing to fear. You don't have to be afraid. That's the way the world's supposed to be. That's how the world is supposed to be. And by God, when I leave it, that's how I will leave it, and I will leave it with you to see that it changes, because if you don't change, it's not going to change. That's just a fact. If you and I don't pick up the cross, if we don't do our work and die to what we can die to because we see the necessity. Look, how many of you, nobody wants to die. I'm not talking about physically. You don't even know what that means. I mean psychologically. I want to keep everything in place. If I could, which is such a contradiction, I would nail down everything and then I could rest. Except there's one problem. You can't nail anything down, and the only thing that you nail down is the idea that you could rest if you finally got everything the way you want it. And it's a lie. And if I see it's a lie, what am I left with? Listening to the liar? Agreeing with it? Or do I have, for the first time in my life, a chance to see that every time that anxiety comes into me, it's coming into me because I feel threatened by something. I'm not present to the threat, but it's there in the background. It's saying this, that, and the other needs to line up like this, that, and the other. If it doesn't do it, you got trouble in River City. The capital T, and that rhymes with P, and that stands for pain. Balance. Children doing what children do. People seeing joy. You know, you don't see joy in children anymore, by and large. You see little tiny, tense creatures, each one trying to be what they were told by their parents what they should be, so that they could be someone and be someone and be someone. So all the little kids in knots, their hearts bound. It would make you weep. And the way you know it's true is God willing that the child in your heart should reawaken. And when it reawakens, it's not troubled by the things that this self that has to be lost is troubled by. It's joyous because it belongs to something joyous. It's free because it is found that it was never a slave to anything except for what it was conditioned to believe determined its reality and its value. Then that man, that woman, they go through this life, and including coming to the end of it. And they don't look at that shape-shifting, shadowy beast and wonder what's going to happen. They're not afraid of the future because they don't have one. They live in the present moment where everything is being given to them that they need to be whole.